Hello everyone, welcome to another Natural Beauty Fence tutorial. Today we are at a house in Freeport where we are going to be installing 6-foot high black chain link with top and bottom rail and also privacy slats. In this case, as you'll see, the neighbor has an existing fence behind us, so when the homeowner here puts up their chain link fence, they don't want to see the neighbor's fence behind theirs. So we're going to put privacy slats in. In this video, you are going to learn how to do everything involved with installing a chain link fence. You're first going to learn how to set your terminal posts, then set your line posts, then set the top rail, the bottom rail, then you're going to learn how to stretch the wire, then finally we are going to be putting the privacy slats in the chain link. My name is Alex.
My name is Luis. Mr. T. Freddy Ruiz. Okay. Fine.
At Natural Beauty Fence, you can find all the material you need to complete your chain link fence job. We sell rolls of chain link wire in varying heights, colors, and gauges. We sell all necessary pipe for top rail, bottom rail, terminal posts, and line posts. We sell all types of privacy slats, and we also sell all the necessary fittings for installation. Here is a brief overview of chain link fittings. Brace bands are used to hold the rail end cup. The brace bands go around the terminal post on the top and bottom, while the rail end cup provides a 1.5 inch slot for the top rail and bottom rails to insert into. Tension bands are slightly longer and are used to hold the tension bars. The flat side of the tension band faces the wire side of the fence. Loop caps are used on all of the line posts. The bottom of the cap goes over the post, while the loop is for the top rail to insert through. The curve in the loop cap goes toward the wire side of the fence. Line boulevards secure the bottom rail to each line post. Each boulevard comes with 2 galvanized carriage bolts. Boulevards are also made for end and corner posts, but you can also use a brace band and rail end cup for those, as we show in this video. End post caps are used on the terminal posts. Ties are used to secure the chain link wire to the frame. We use long ties for 1 5/8 inch rail and short ties for 1 3/8 inch rail. We sell these by the bag. Each bag covers approximately 100 feet of fence. Keep in mind that you must use the chain link fittings that correctly correspond to the size of the pipe you are using. If you need help with your fence material order, simply text your material list to the number below. If you are unsure of exactly what you need, simply text a diagram of your job and I will assist you with ordering all of the necessary components. If you would prefer to have one of our top-tier installation teams come and do the job for you, simply call or text me at the number below and I will come to your house, measure, and give you a quote. We have been installing fences since 1947, and all of our installers are highly experienced and have been with us for years. We never use subcontractors. You can reach Alex directly at the cell phone number 516-582-2816, or you can call our office at 516-785-3203. Now let's begin the chain link fence installation tutorial with step number 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first step in installing a chain link fence is to install our terminal posts. For a 6-foot high fence, we typically use a 2.5 inch by 8 foot post. Terminal posts mark the beginning and the end of every straight line of chain link fence. So you want to set a terminal post on each corner and on each end. In this case, we're making a fence in a U shape around the homeowner's backyard. So we're gonna have a total of 4 terminal posts, 1 on each end and then 2 corners. So now over here I am with Theo. We are digging. To dig the hole, you wanna use a basic post hole digger here, and then you'll have your partner holding a tamping bar. Once the dirt gets a little too compact to dig with the post hole digger, I'm gonna step in and I'm going to make the digging easier for him. The job of the guy with the bar is to shape the hole and loosen the dirt. The guy with the digger, his job is just to remove the dirt. You should work as a pair, work as a team when digging a hole. Theo, I'm gonna step in for you.
All right.
So you see, I'm going to go on the bar on the outside of the hole, just to shape it for him. Loosen up the dirt for him. That way he can easily get in there with the digger. and do what he needs to do.
You want the height of your terminal post to be slightly higher than that of the chain link wire. So since we're using a 72-inch high wire, we're going to set our terminal post about 75 inches high. That way we have space for the brace band rail end cup, top rail, and then the terminal cap at the end.
Before we add concrete to this post, we're going to put a little bit of dirt in there, and then Theo here is going to tamp the dirt down tight and compact, so that way we can ensure that the post is level.
All right.
Let's go right here.
Go. Put the door.
When you're putting concrete around the post, don't fill it all the way up to the top of the hole. You want to leave a little room to put dirt on top of the concrete. That way if the customer decides to plant grass, the grass will grow flush around the post.
Now that our two terminal posts are set, we are going to put a string line between the two posts. And now he's going to loop it around the second terminal post. We are going to start installing the line posts. The line posts are going to be all the posts between the two terminals.
The main thing to consider when installing your line posts is the space between them. For a residential chain link fence, you don't want to have any more than 10 feet of space between line posts. In this case, the back line of fence that we're installing is 67 feet. So we're going to have 7 bays here, and you want all the bays to be even. So I'm going to do 67 divided by 7, and I get about 9.5 feet between each line post. So we're going to start at our terminal, measure 9.5 feet over, then start our first line post, and then we're going to continue the process throughout the fence line.
Now Jose is going to level the post by tamping the dirt.
You want the height of each line post to sit slightly below the height of the wire. Since we're using 72-inch high wire, we're going to set our line posts at approximately 70 inches high.
We are now going to put the fittings on the terminal posts. First, we are going to put a brace band on the bottom for the bottom rail. The brace band is going to connect to something called a rail end cup. The rail end cup is what's going to secure the bottom rail on the bottom and the top rail on the top. You connect the brace band and the rail end cup with carriage bolt and a nut. Now this post right here has 2 brace bands and 2 rail end cups because this is a corner post.
Rail end cups are angled on the attachment side. When you are gearing up your corner post, make sure to put the 2 rail end cups opposite each other so that the rails are on the same level.
At the end of the job, we are going to spray paint those black so they match everything else.
A chain link fence has 2 sides. It has the frame side, which is where you'll see the top rail, the bottom rail, and all the posts, and it has the wire side, where you will only see the wire. As you'll see, the tension band is different on each side. One side is flat and one side is curved. The flat side goes on the wire side and the curved side goes on the frame side. Make sure when you put the nut and bolt on the tension band that the bolt is facing the wire side and the nut is facing the frame side. For a 6-foot high fence, each terminal post will get 5 tension bands. In this case, the bands for the left fence are below that of the right fence. Make sure this stays consistent throughout the terminal posts. After you put on all the tension bands, you're going to put on 2 more brace bands and rail end cups. These are for the top rail. Make sure once again to put the rail end cups in opposite directions so that the top rails are level.
Now that all the posts are set, you're going to put loop caps on all the line posts. Loop caps are exactly how they sound. It's a cap with a loop on the top where the top rail can pass through. We're going to put the top rail through the loops and put the top rail throughout the length of the entire fence.
One side of the loop cap is flat and the other side is curved. The curved side is going to face the wire side of the fence and the flat side is going to be on the frame side of the fence. Now you'll see the crew just passes the top rail through the loop cap and secures it into the rail end cup.
So now they're going to put the rail through the loops. Now, as you'll notice, one end of the top rail is swedged it's a little bit smaller than the other end, so that way you can connect them.
These rails are 21 feet long. Since this line of fence we're installing is 67 feet, we are going to use 3 full rails, and then we're going to need to cut a small piece for the end. To measure for this piece, measure from the swedge of the top rail to the terminal post, then deduct 1.5 inches for the rail end cup. That'll give you the measurement at which to cut your rail. Then the installation is the same as before.
Now we have the rail set up all the way across the top.
The next step is to install your bottom rail. Simply place a line boulevard on each line post. Here is the easiest way to install bottom rail. So we know in this case we're using a brace band and rail end cup for each terminal post, and we're using a line boulevard for each line post. To get the measurement at which to cut your bottom rail, you're going to measure between the 2 posts. For every rail end cup, you're going to deduct 1.5 inches, and for every line boulevard, you're going to deduct 1 inch. So if you're going from a terminal post to a line post, simply measure the distance between them and deduct 2.5 inches. If you're going from a line post to a line post, simply measure the distance between them and deduct 2 inches. So once again, that's deduct 1.5 inches for a rail end cup and 1 inch for a line boulevard. This will make your life super easy. Simply measure, deduct, cut, and install.
Go up and down. Okay.
It helps to leave the boulevard loose at first so that you can lift it up while you insert the pipe. When installing the bottom rail, make sure the rail is level, and also make sure you leave space between the ground and the rail. That way you can tie the wire to the bottom rail.
Now the frame is entirely built. We have all the posts set, top and bottom rail are secured. Now we are preparing to stretch the wire. Here they are holding a 50-foot roll of chain link. The chain link rolls we sell at Entropy Defense are 50 feet long. And in this case, we don't have a lot of space between the frame and the existing fence. There's a little bit of an opening right here, so that's why Freddie and Theo position themselves there. Now, as you'll see, Freddie and Theo are going to take the roll and lift in like sort of a deadlift motion and rotate the roll so that Jose at the end there can continue to slowly walk the chain link wire down to the end of the fence. Theo here is holding a tension bar. He's going to slide the tension bar into the last ring on the roll of wire, and he's going to slide this bar through the tension bands, which we installed earlier. All right, now the next step is to tighten the nuts on these bolts so that way the tension bar is nice and strong.
Close, Juanito.
This chain link wire comes in a roll of 50 feet, and our line of fence is 67 feet. We are therefore going to need additional wire to make it all the way to the end. So we're going to measure the space from our terminal post to our wire, and then keep in mind that we're going to stretch the wire that's already up. So we want to allow for a buffer of about 5 feet. So whatever that distance is, deduct about 5 feet or so, and then take another chain link roll and cut it accordingly.
So he unhooks that side, and he snips the other side. And now he's going to just rotate one line of wire. Now we have to connect the small roll that we just cut. We're going to do this via an extra piece of coiled wire. Theo is going to come in from the top of the fence. He's going to twist this piece of wire through the coils to connect the small roll with the big roll.
Over here, man.
Jose's helping Theo by holding the 2 rolls close together so that Theo can more easily maneuver that piece of wire through the coils. Now Jose is just going to knuckle the top so that way it matches all the other ones. And now you don't even know it was 2 separate rolls. Now you'll see Theo is inserting 2 galvanized tension bars into the chain link. So the device we're using now is called a come along. This is how we stretch our chain link wire. Jose put one set of tension bars here, and he's going to put another one a little bit further back along the fence.
Now they are going to put one hook on each tension bar, and they're going to use the handle to stretch the wire. In this case, they use the come along both on the bottom and the top of the fence. This is optional. You can also use just one come along. You're simply going to use the handle to stretch that wire. Now you want other people standing deeper along the fence line to consistently lift up the bottom of the fence and make sure it doesn't get caught on anything as they're stretching it.
All right, so now you'll see the wire is super tight, and Jose leaves a little bit left on the end loose, so that way he can easily put the tension bar through and secure it to the post.
Ramiro. Okay.
Now they release the come alongs. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have to tie the wire to the frame. We're going to use ties like this to secure the wire to the top rail, the bottom rail, and all the line posts across the entire line of fence.
When tying your chain link fence, you want to start with the top rail. That's because as you're tying it, you want to lift the wire a little bit so that way the wire knuckles go a little bit above the top rail. If you do the bottom rail first, you're not going to be able to lift the wire and it's not going to look as nice. So to tie it,
I'm going to take this tie, I'm going to feed it up through the link, and I always go to the link, a full link, and I go to the link that's to the left of me. All right, I'm going to feed it up and I'm going to catch it like this. Then I'm going to bend this over like this. Now notice the way I'm bending it. I'm bending this over to here, so when this comes around, it's trapping that so it doesn't come off. If I do it the other way and I tie it like this and I just come along here with a stiff wind, this is going to just open up. All right, so I'm going to push it like here and I'm going to bring it around, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop it, and then they call it like a pigtail. You're going to just take this and you're just going to tie it around like a pigtail like that and finish it off. And then I'm just going to count down 7 links. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to repeat the process.
then you're going to tie your line posts. For this 6-foot-high fence, we are going to do 4 ties per line post. Then after, you're going to tie the bottom rail.
I kind of take the tie and I close it up a little bit like that, and then I kind of bend it into a circle, kind of something like that, so it makes it a little bit easier. I'm going to feed this under, okay? I'm going to feed this under, and I'm going to catch the wire like this, and then I'm going to come around with this, and very simple, like this.
So now what I have here is a bag of black wingtip slats. There are a few different types of slats. Today we're going to be using the wingtip. This is the one we most commonly use on our installs. It just means that there's a little fringe on the side here. So I'm going to take the slat and pretty much just place it into the coil of the wire, just like this. And you're just going to gradually work the slat down. You don't want to grab too high up and pull from a high angle, because then the slat will bend. You want to keep yourself controlled, keep it kind of low, and you just gradually push it on in, just like that. It's a very slow process. You have to manually put them in the whole way. Let's make sure you put the pointed end of the slat facing down. So one special tip, one thing you can implement to make this process a lot smoother and a lot easier is to soak and submerge your privacy slats in a bucket of soapy water. This will lubricate the privacy slats and make the entry a lot smoother. You'll be able to push them down very easy in comparison to when they're dry. In addition, you should not leave the privacy slats in the sun. This will also make them hard to slide in. You should always leave your privacy slats in the shade when you're not using them. And then when you're ready to use them, soak them in a bucket of water, soak the tips in a bucket of water,
and slide them in, just as Juanito is doing.
The final step in our process is to spray paint all these bolts black, so that way they match the fence. It'll look really nice and finished. Everyone, thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Remember that all of the fence materials shown in this video are available for purchase and delivery nationwide. If you are interested in having us come install the fence for you, simply give us a call at the number below. My name is Alex. I will come to your house, measure the property, and then work with you to figure out which style of fencing best suits your style and your budget. Now, if you are out there installing a chain link fence on your own, keep in mind that this same method of installation applies for black chain link, galvanized chain link, white chain link, brown chain link, green chain link, whatever color chain link you're doing, it is the same installation method. Last but not least, please subscribe to the channel if you are interested in this kind of content. We are going to be posting new tutorials and instructional videos every week, and you don't want to miss them.